like I'm feeling on top of the world, like nothing's ever gonna bring me down. This feeling got me flying high as a bird. I may never touch the ground. It may not be my birthday, but I just wanna celebrate.
I just wanna celebrate. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, is that supposed to be our theme song?
Yeah.
Took me a second. I'm like, doesn't sound like that.
It's our theme song. Nailed it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 39 of the Waft. I'm Dwight.
And I'm Emily.
And we are life enthusiasts who are here to bring you joy or laughter or who knows what. Nevertheless, we own a six-figure business in the form of Cycle Bar West Omaha, and we are still in 5 figures of debt. But you know what? It's going to be 4, and then I figured out by February next year.
February.
God willing, it'll be 0.
Yeah. I think it's kind of annoying that you say we're in a 6 figures and 5 figures of debt, but like we've also paid off 6 figures of debt.
Yeah, I know.
But you're leaving that part out. You're like,
There you
we're
go.
in 5 figures of debt, but we have already paid off like probably $500,000
No, we've paid
with
off.
interest.
Yeah.
Think about the interest.
Interest is a son of a bitch.
So yeah.
Either way, it's late. It's 7:13 on Sunday. It's been a hellacious
Got like
weekend.
my old lady tea.
Yeah.
Getting ready for bed.
If she starts falling asleep during this episode, that is why.
Yeah.
First order of business, weekly wafters. Some of you disappointed me last week. You didn't tune in till the end or you didn't follow the directions. But to be a weekly wafter, to get the weekly shout out, like us, the video on YouTube, and then follow the directions. Last week was comment your favorite emoji, so Heather LaRue, Dan the Man, Kenny from the block, you 3, this week's weekly wafters. For next week, same thing. Like the YouTube video, and then comment who or what were the biggest influences in shaping you.
Also,
because I want to go into.
I gotta call out Kenny from the block. Sorry, I'm hot. I gotta put my hair up.
It's toasty in here.
The purple heart emoji cannot be. Watch over my feet. Cannot be your favorite.
Why?
I just wouldn't picture the purple heart emoji as Ken's favorite emoji.
I mean, maybe it is, and I'm surprised.
Yeah. So there we go. Weekly wafters next week. And the reason that I said comment with who or what were the biggest influences in shaping you is because that is the question for this week. The lone question. Did you hit the timer?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. From Elise, she wants to know about our upbringings. Who and what were the biggest influences in shaping you both? The floor is yours.
Why do I always start? I think I always start.
Because I talk a fuck ton. And
Yeah, but this one, I mean,
they're sick
saddle
of,
up.
They're sick of hearing about me right now, so you can go first. They're sick of hearing me talk. Pam and David.
I mean, God, I gotta get my thoughts together. Yeah, who or what were the biggest influences of your life in your upbringing or whatever? Definitely my parents. I hands down say I won the parent lottery.
Just like Chipper won the parent lottery.
Just like Chipper won the parent lottery. Yeah, except we did it wrong because we made Chipper into a bully, and my parents did it right. Like, I never believe that parents can be perfect, but my parents are pretty damn close. I think the main thing, they taught me everything. They taught me so much, but I think the main thing that they did was like show, don't tell leadership. Like growing up, I remember my dad going to work at like 4 a.m. and me being like, this guy's a fucking psycho. Like, who goes to work voluntarily at 4 a.m. before anyone's even there and then stays till 6 p.m. and comes home late? Or like he traveled half the year because that was his business. And then my mom was a stay-at-home mom until I was in elementary school and then went back to work. And I remember I probably bitched at her a million times because I was the kid who had to stay late at school and I had to wait. Like everyone got to go home at 3, but I had to wait till like 6 o'clock in the after-school care.
Well, that's because you were in detention.
No, it was not.
They were trying to make you feel good by saying after-school care, but it was actually detention.
No, it was like going to the library and doing your homework till 6. And I remember like calling my mom repeatedly, like, when are you coming? And I would like bitch at her all the time, like, everyone gets to leave school on time.
Stop getting into trouble.
But she was a working woman and she worked for the government and she worked
CIA.
her way up.
Top
this
secret.
is literally gonna get taken down off YouTube. She worked her way up in like a government company to be like up at the top, and they just showed me work ethic. Like they literally showed, instead of just telling me you have to work hard, through all of their actions, like they worked really hard. And caveat, like my parents came from nothing. Like I saw their first house. It was smaller than Brown Street. My dad grew up
That was our
in
last
a
house.
small town in England with like fucking no electricity. They could only afford to send one kid to college, and it was his sister. So my dad didn't even go to college. And then they just like literally worked their ass off. And if you know anything about my parents, like they now live in Vail, Colorado, living their dream life, retired. But everything they did, they built. And I think that's the best part, is like nothing was handed to my parents. Like they had to work to get to where they are today. And they didn't tell me to do that. They just showed me, and now I have that work ethic. And so, yeah, my parents literally just made me who I am today.
Yeah.
I could go on for like an hour. They're the best humans.
Yeah, what do we have? Time-wise, are we even?
Yeah. I had to.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
I also like, I think the other important thing is like, that I learned from my parents is like, they weren't ever like hard asses. Like they gave us opportunities and they supported us. Like I said, hey mom and dad, I met this dude and we want to get in $500,000 of debt and take your house and put it on lien and open a business. And they were like, we support you.
Yeah.
Like,
shout out to them for that
shout out
opportunity.
to them.
For that
Like most
opportunity.
parents, like I remember that guy in Italy was like, he bought a farm and his family was like so against it, and they like, you know, disowned them for like 3 years. Like my parents could have easily been like, we don't support you, but they were like, no, like we trust you, you know, we're gonna make this happen. And
I think, to deviate off the path a little bit, like there's certain parents, nationwide, universal, that will like buy their kid a pony, or like, they'll buy them a business and not have them work for it, not have them pay it off. They're just like, here, you're the manager, but you have no risk.
Mm-hmm.
Like for your parents, like they took a chance, but like that $500,000 loan we speak of, yes, it took their name to get that loan, but they said, this is on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we want it. So I think that comes from both of our parents' upbringings, like, because my parents came from nothing too. So it's just like the work ethic, I would say, from my dad, like, he dropped out of high school as a sophomore. So like worked for the railroad for 40 years and fucking out in the heat and out in the cold working on like just broken railroad ties and stuff like that. So the work ethic to be like, I don't want my kids to have that upbringing, is definitely like work ethic for me. But then like on the flip side, I guess since we're always our authentic self, like you also can learn from things that you don't want.
mm-hmm.
So like just being like 100% real, I'm pretty sure in my 33 years of existence, I've never once heard or said it back to my dad that I love you. Or any of my brothers either, I think. Or my mom growing up. But then like certainly like lately we've been doing it more on the phone. But like I feel like my upbringing is a whole nother can of worms. And it's not like I got my ass beat or anything, but like it's just not your traditional like, hey, touch me,
I would be
love
so
me.
curious, like how many parents, because my mom came from a family where they didn't say I love you a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we do it in my family, because she wanted to make it known.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious, like how many families, like, is it like, do you say I love you? Because like my family would say it every time I hang up the phone, oh, I love you. But like I've never heard you say it to anyone in your family except your mom.
Oh yeah.
Which to me, when I first met you, I was like, what the fuck is this?
From my mom, my mom sincerely caring, always worked with kids, whether it be like when we were being raised, she like helped with babysitting, and then she worked for the public school system as a lunch lady, just always loved kids and just always caring and giving back. So like that's where I think I get my niceness from. But then my dad was a total hard ass and I was scared shitless of him. He never beat my ass, but I was terrified that he would. So like the work ethic there and like I don't want to say fear. He scared me, yeah, but like work ethic from him, niceness from my mom, but also I think I don't want to get too deep, but I would say like you learn things both in a good manner and then just like you see things growing up, whether it's as a child or like in your teens or when you're in college, and you're like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. Or you see other relationships and you're like, I don't want that to be my relationship. I think we've both seen that.
Yeah.
Where we're like, I want I don't want a relationship that's like that.
Yeah.
You know, I would love my parents' relationship where my dad just surprises my mom to trips to Paris. Maybe we'll get there.
I feel like that was a hint. Why don't you drop a bigger one next time? This is going back one other time where, hey ladies, you don't have to beat around the fucking bush. It's simply, hey babe, I'd love to go to Paris sometime. Can we go?
No.
That's all it takes. Just asking.
No. The ladies will understand. It's the thoughtfulness. Like, my dad literally would surprise my mom with birthday trips to places she wanted to go. It wasn't like, oh, hey babe, I really want to go here. It was like, no, he literally was just like, Pamela's turning 40. I'm going to take her on a trip to Paris.
Here's the problem. Your dad surprises your mom going to Paris. I'm like, hey babe, I got a surprise for you. Get in the car, and then we pull into Costco, and she isn't happy with that. So what am I supposed to do? Sorry, you said it's the thoughtfulness. That's thoughtful. Let's go. Quality time.
Yeah.
QT is your thing.
You just wanted a fucking Costco hot dog.
Quality time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Who and what were the biggest influences? This is honestly a very difficult question because I literally have been thinking about it for like a week.
I think it's harder for you. Like, again, I won the parent lottery, and another thing, like, I'm so blessed. Like, I graduated with a master's degree and no debt.
Humble brag.
That's not a brag. Like, my parents did that. Like,
No, you know the master's degree is you.
Right, but I have a bachelor's and a master's degree and no debt. Like, I graduated college and I got a fully paid Mini Cooper. Like, I had so much, like, handed to me, but I do appreciate that they also made it clear, like, they hand stuff to you, but I feel like I'm not that typical, like, have a silver spoon in my mouth, like, expect everything to be given to me.
No.
And I think that comes back to my parents, like, teaching me that you have to do the work to get to where you want to go. You cannot, like, there is no easy button to success. I say this in class a lot. Like, you can't think your way to a stronger version of you. You can't hit an easy button and expect to, you know, get out of debt or whatever it is. Like, you have to do the fucking work. This takes me back.
Oh man.
In an episode, the newest episode of Kardashians, if you watch Keep Up with the Kardashians, someone asked Kim Kardashian, what's your advice for female business owners? And she said, get your fucking ass up and work. And she got so much hate because she's Kim Kardashian. Like, people literally were like, you're so rude, how can you say that? But it's like, I'm sorry, that's actually kind of accurate, Kim. Like, you literally have to get your fucking ass up and work.
I will say, I did get that from my parents. Like, same thing. It's just like, we were talking about this the other day about, like, this is a whole nother can of worms. I don't want to go long in this episode, but about, like, how this generation is literally coddled where it's like, everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah.
And fuck that. Like, I'm probably going to get hate for that comment, but that's just...
I honestly think it was a conversation we were having with Chipper.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about something with Chipper, like, or no, a kid, and we were like, if they didn't get first place, you'd be like, you're a loser, first place only matters. And then they'd be like, no, it's fine. Like, you can get 8th place as long as you try.
You don't have, there is a big thing in the middle there. But like, here, you get a trophy, you get a trophy, you get a trophy. It teaches no work ethic. It just like, essentially,
they just expect to just show up and get rewarded.
Exactly. So like, you gotta work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how this $500,000 is being paid off, is through work.
And I do think we got that from our parents and other things in life, but I think that's the number one reason why we're successful is like, I mean, all weekend, we literally worked all weekend, and it's just like, it comes down to you just have to be willing to do the work.
Like we said, work your dick off.
We work our dicks off.
Work your dick off.
Yeah, worked all day and now 7 o'clock at night recording the podcast. But hey.
Because we said we're gonna do it weekly.
But we said we're gonna do it weekly and we're showing up to do it weekly.
We can and we will.
We will. We're doing both.
And that's what we're doing.
Yep.
So I think that's it.
Questions for next week?
Oh, last thing. The one thing, this didn't really shape me, but did shape my eating habits. Cindy Coulter, I know you watched this. You coddled the shit out of me and didn't make me eat my vegetables, and then would slide me like peanut butter sandwiches. If you would have made me eat my veggies, boy, I would appreciate it. Because now I get pissed off when I go to Abelardo's and they put pico on my burrito, and then I gotta pick all the onions up because I hate them.
Oh, he threw a fucking hissy fit when they put pico on his burrito, and it was like a disdain, like unwrap the burrito, pick off every onion, and like I didn't want to talk to him for an hour. I was terrified.
They're like poison.
I was like, the onions are gonna be what sends him over the edge.
So if for some reason if we have kids,
baby boy here is slightly spoiled.
If we ever have kids someday, that little shit will be eating all of his fruits and veggies. Because now I got a juice to get them because I can't eat them because I hate the taste.
You're such a little baby.
All right. That's it. We're still recording. We have a mirror on the other side of the camera to see if the
It's
red
gonna go
light's
off
still
any
blinking.
second, so let's do it. If you have a question for us next week, please
Let us know.
let us know. We love getting questions.
And episode 39. Time for bed.
7:27. It is time for bed.
May not be my birthday,
Peace out.
Cub
Guys.
Scouts.
but I just wanna celebrate. Oh, oh, oh. I just wanna celebrate.
Hip thrust.
'Cause it's a
Hip
good
swivel.